Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 34 of the What the Hell Are We Doing podcast. Today we'll be interviewing an amazing content creator over on Twitch. His name is Duckmount. If you guys want to go ahead and support him, go ahead and check him out in the link in the description. Duckmount, how are you doing, dude?
Doing fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do.
Well, I'm Duck Mountain. My real name is Alex.
Your microphone's very quiet, by the way.
Is it better?
That's better. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm still getting used to my soundboard. So, I'm a 34 years old dad. I work in a group insurance company as my main job right now. Otherwise, yeah, I'm a family man. I've got two toddlers, my partner, and my partner is a nurse. Otherwise, I do stream 4 times a week, and I'm trying to get into full-time streaming.
So, what are some recent games you streamed on Twitch?
The most recent game I've been doing Zelda for a couple months because I'm going through all the games of a franchise with my viewers. So we've been doing a lot of Zelda. And we were hoping.
Did you ever play in the GameCube? I think was it the Sony box with the original Zelda?
With the original Zelda, I have it on NES actually.
Oh,
So I played it. I was 5 years old. I'm getting older. So I played the original Zelda and Zelda 2 on the original NES. I still have them too. And right now we're on Oracle of Ages, and we're doing Final Fantasy every Friday.
Final Fantasy, that's a good game. So, how'd you get into gaming?
Oh yeah. No. Sorry, can you repeat?
How'd you get into gaming?
How did I get into gaming? I was well, since I was 2, I was always fascinated by controllers. At least that's what my mom told me. My cousins were giving me an unplugged controller so that I could pretend to play. And when I was about 3 and a half, my cousin actually gave us his NES with Mario and Duck Hunt on it. That was the only game that I had, so I started playing with that. And since my parent did not control my gaming time that much, I kind of become addicted. Well, not addicted to it, but I played a lot, and that's how I became a gamer.
And did you ever play the original Donkey Kong, the N64?
I played it, but I was older. I played it. I played it when I was older. My parents brought me to a place that had arcades.
Oh,
And I tried it on arcades, but I didn't try it when it came out. I was too young for that.
sweet. So, tell us a bit more of the background inspiration for your name, Duckmount. Where did that come from, and how did you come up with that name?
You mean the name?
Yes.
Yes, for the name, when I was in game/level design, I was studying as a game level designer, and there was a teacher, and I think it was in QA, quality insurance, or another class like that. Skyrim just came out, and he brought an image. He wanted us to analyze it, and he says, "What do you see in that image?" And I don't know. I was just not thinking, and I just screamed, "Mountains!" So after a couple days, people were teasing me about that, and one guy said, "Hey, your new nickname will be Duck Mountain. It sounds like a cool villain name." And it just stuck. And when I created my Twitch account, I remembered that all of a sudden when I was searching for a name, and I decided to go with it.
Sweet. And how many years have you been doing Twitch? Or did you ever decide to use Twitch first or YouTube? What was your main goal or idea for starting out on stream?
I was already spread out at the start. I didn't know what I was doing. I started in 2019 actually, but I tried Twitch. I tried some Mixer, came back to Twitch, so I didn't know exactly what I was doing. At some point, I think in the fall, about October, November, I started doing solely on Twitch. I did not know a lot of what I was doing, so I was not really consistent either, and there were other things in my life that were going on. But yeah, I was a little spread out, and then I started focusing more on Twitch.
Sweet. So, what are some goals you've achieved on your Twitch channel, your TikTok, your social media platforms? Something that you felt accomplished in the sense.
I felt really accomplished when I reached affiliate. That was not maybe the biggest accomplishment. I think the biggest accomplishment is to be able to grow as a streamer because it's not really easy. I reached about 10 viewers average, which is pretty impressive because I see a lot staying at 3, 4, or 5 and never going up. And I'm working a lot on it, and I'm putting a lot of energy, and just being able to build a place where people can come and hang out and just change their mind from their day if they had a bad day or if they had a good day and just want to have fun. I think that's a good accomplishment, and I think outside of streaming, my sons are pretty much my biggest accomplishment.
So, this is a two-part question. What are some goals you've had in place to be where you are right now, and what are your future goals for either your Twitch or your personal life?
For my future goals in life, I want to be there more for my kids. I want to be, I want to be a dad that is there to see them grow, see their accomplishments. I want to be able to have my own schedule, to be able to go see, for example, if they do baseball, to go to their practice or go to anything that they have going on. And I want to be able to encourage them in that and be there more for, I'd say, for homeworks and all. And I also want eventually, what would be really neat because the nurse is not domain, but the profession is really hard. So I want eventually, if I can, to be able to give the option to my spouse to quit if she wants to. Not make her quit, but if she wants to give her the option.
And the second part of your question is, what are some goals you had in place to be where you are right now?
To be where I am, you mean for the stream?
Yes.
The stream, of course, the long-term goal would be to go full-time, and not only go full-time, maybe be able to do more than I do now with my job. I mean, I'm not poor by any means, but with more money, I would be able to have more time with my family, give them and me a better life. But also, I want to be able to give to charity and to help people in need, because that's something I cannot afford to do right now, and I want to be able to do that. And I've always wanted to be able to do that, but I've never been able, at least for now.
And speaking of charities, what kind of charities would you donate to or give to?
Definitely cancer. My mom died from cancer in 2019, so at least cancer. Maybe for I know there's an organization that brings gaming to kids that are sick, to bring them more fun. I don't remember the exact name, but there's also for mental health, because I got an ADHD. That's not too bad. It's not the biggest problem ever, but I know that some are struggling way more, and right now I cannot do anything to help. I think it would be a good way to help. I mean, give money for research to help people in need, things like that, or for people. I've got a lot of charity I want to help, but I know I will have to narrow it down eventually.
And did you say ADHD? Am I right?
Yeah. I got an attention deficit disorder.
Yeah.
I'm less of an the hyperactive part.
So, going with that question, what would you say to like young content creators who have like sort of like symptoms like ADHD, I don't know, cancer, Down syndrome? What would you say to those people who are struggling to gain the attention of viewers, and they need motivation to continue streaming?
I may have an example from a viewer. Well, it was not him, but his mom had cancer, and I told him, I'm cancer too. I know what you're going through, but it's not all black. There's always hope. I mean, they took it pretty serious. No, she didn't have cancer, but she didn't know. She was about to have a diagnosis or not. So I said, I know it's stressful, but you can do it. Your mom is a fighter, and I'm sure if there is something, she will have the best medical care that she can. and there's always a way. There, nothing is ever hopeless. And right now, the only thing I can is try to encourage people. So I try to encourage them, and I like quoting some. Sometimes I like to get some quotes out that I know and that I know can bring hope to people.
Actually, that brings us to our next question
Now,
about quotes. So once, like I don't know, a few days ago, I was in your stream and you said something about your Dr. Seuss quote. Would you mind giving us a bit more about that?
hi, Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, the one you said on
I
stream.
don't watch. I don't watch Dr. Seuss.
No,
I
it's
don't know Dr. Seuss, to be honest.
uh the writer who made Cat in the Hat on stream a
The
few days ago. You gave out a amazing quote on your stream.
Oh, was it maybe for from Kingdom Hearts? I know that there's one that I read out from Kingdom Hearts. It's the heart may be weak, and sometimes it may even give in, but deep down there's a light that never goes out. That's one of my favorite quotes of Kingdom Hearts, and I mean that stuck with me all throughout that series, and all throughout my life as well.
Sweet. So how did
Oh
you
no,
get into
it was Doctor Who. Sorry, it was
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who. Yes.
Oh, Doctor
Yeah,
Who.
it was 900 years of time and space travel, and I've never met anyone that wasn't important.
Yes, that's the quote.
Yeah, that was Doctor Who.
So
I love that quote.
speaking of Doctor Who, what's your favorite character or actor that played a doctor?
I'd say for actor, I'd say my favorite Doctor is Matt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
However, for characters as companions go, the Ponds, Rory and Amy Pond are really good characters, really well developed,
Mm-hmm.
and I have other ones that I love too, but there's something special about those ones, and all the chemistry that they have with the 11th Doctor. But my favorite actor, definitely Matt Smith. He was the youngest Doctor. People were not believing in him at first, but he turned out to be one of the greatest ones.
So speaking of acting and the aspects of acting, if let's say your Twitch career didn't go as expected, would you have any backup careers such as acting, singing?
No, I have no skills in acting or singing. However, well, I mean, I still have my own job right now that I can still get my career finished in. I mean, I don't hate the job. I still pretty much like it. It's just that I wanted to have my own schedule and do something I love more because I love streaming way more, obviously. But I mean, I still have room for promotion, and I can see myself finishing my life here if nothing else works.
So going back to your previous question, how did you get into gaming, and what was your inspiration for making others happy throughout Twitch and gaming?
Well, for making others happier and through gaming and through entertainment, I wanted a way to be able to do something because my inspiration is my mom. She was someone really generous. She was always giving out, whether it be money, time, or just an ear when we needed one to everyone. She was not someone who was holding a grudge at all. You could People sometimes would do because they would abuse her generosity and do horrible things sometimes, but she was always forgiving, and she always told me that, well, first of all, money does not bring happiness. It's family, it's friends, and it's people that will be around you, that can support you, and also that life is too short to hold a grudge, because if you hold a grudge and something happens to someone and you didn't mean it, or you wanted to, for example, you would have wanted to forgive the person. If the person dies, before you do that, you will regret it all your life. Never hold a grudge, and be generous and give as much as you can, because it comes back to you eventually as well.
Sweet. Now, same question but different wording. What kind of advice do you give to like older content creators who are like starting out and have difficulties catching an audience?
Catching an audience, I think, is pretty much the hardest thing. But for presence-wise, engage with your viewers. Have subjects ready if you want to talk about some subjects, because sometimes you talk
Sure.
about Dragon Ball Z, or you'll talk about Final Fantasy or any other thing, or just tell about your day, and someone will be interested to see coming in your stream, and they will start to talk. Sometimes it's just the subject that they don't have to start a conversation, but you will go on a certain subject and oops, they're interested right now, so they will talk. They can lurk for months and just come back. But even if you're streaming with zero viewers, always almost no silence if possible, unless there's really a really important cutscene. Have something to talk about. If you have nothing to talk about, describe what you do in the game. But one other thing too, that I had to learn the hard way. The game is to bring more people in. Other than that, it's not important. The stream is what important. You have to become a streamer more than a gamer, because if you are a gamer, uh, you will go on emotions, and you will put energy when you will put it will take you more energy to be able to stream or like streaming, because you will not have fun if you don't concentrate on the game. Even a bad game can do great streaming content, but you have to focus on stream first. Stream and people in the chat or lurking are the most important part of a stream, not the game. And it was hard for me to learn because I was a gamer all my life. So switching from that to streamer, which there's a difference, was not necessarily easy.
Nice. So, Duckmount, what inspired you to become a content creator and influence others in their daily going on life? Like, what are some words from your experience that you enjoy being a content creator?
Some ways that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Um, I enjoy being a content creator because I bring fun to people. When someone is down, I can always tell them my DM's open. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. And there are people that will pick the person up. And I mean, I always loved sharing my experience with people with gaming, because I think that's the uh, one of the worlds that is the most amazing. Yes, there are bad games, but there are such amazing games. And I'm a story-driven gamer most of the time, and there are some stories that you can live through gaming that cannot be. It's not the same when you're reading a book. You can transport yourself in a book, but you're not living it in a video game. And it's something always enjoyed, and I really love to be able to share that with people and share my emotions, especially on blind playthrough when you play for the first time. It's really amazing to see, to be able to react and see people give more, give, I mean, just do more stuff.
So, would you mind telling us how you met Perm, or and your backstory behind him, like your friendship?
Yeah, well, it was pretty simple actually. The real Perm, I met him on Davis Jared's stream. Davis Jared is actually one of the ones that inspired me a lot to continue when I was pretty down. And just give me 1 second. Okay. And yeah, we met through Davis Jared. We talked a little, and then I followed him, and he became part, like me, of Infinite Quality, which is a group we are part of that was co-founded by Jared, the Sunny Machine, Feckless Man, and a lot of those big streamers on Twitch. So, and we started to talk, and we noticed we were both Quebecers, and I mean, we became friends. We're not close friends. We never met or anything, but we're still talking from time to time in voice chat and having fun. Sorry, having fun.
So,
So yeah, pretty simple story. We met on a stream.
So, would you mind telling us what you felt when Perm drew you on his stream?
Join my stream.
No, no, drew you on his stream.
When he drew me on the stream,
Yeah.
I didn't see it because I did not want to spoil myself, but I was amazed by, first of all, by he's a really good artist, even if he's starting out, and I was humbled and honored because streaming uh, is an humbling thing, and just having someone draw a meme of you is amazing. It means that you are touching people and that you are, maybe if it's not a big difference, but you are still doing a difference at some point. And I was really honored. Seriously, I didn't know anyone. I knew maybe that would have happened down the line, but not that soon into my streaming career. And I was really happy. I loved it. I really love that. I really love that Goku with my face on it.
So, would you mind telling us a bit more about your group, your Infinite Quality group?
Yeah, Infinite Quality is a group that was founded by multiple people. So there's one that's Stepis Jared. He's a partner on Twitch. He's been doing full time for a while now. And another one, the Sunny Machine, which works with me to help me improve my stream and the overall quality. And a couple other ones. It's a group that is focused on networking and improving the stream. There are conversations about stickiness on the Discord, about more technical stuff like soundboard, which camera to take, things like that. How to bring more viewers, what games could I play, what games would be smart or not, because compared to what people think as play what you want, it will grow. You can play something you like, but you don't play necessarily what you want if you really want to grow. So they help out a lot with every aspect of streaming. And there's a Twitch team, but I mean, it's not a Twitch team with some rules. It's just if you are part of it, you can be part of the Twitch team too, just to show that you are part of this group. And they're really a really great group. There are a lot of great people in there.
So, tell us some requirements you have to pass through to be accepted to Infinite Quality.
Well, I can actually talk to you about that. That's great. Well, first of all, you must respect TOS, of course. That's the first requirement. We will search for people that have potential to grow and that really want to grow. So someone that will have some socials, that will, if the person will have a 2-hour stream and will not speak for 1 hour straight during the stream, it will probably not pass. So, I mean, we are looking for people who want to grow. It can be a hobbyist as well, someone that wants that as a hobby, but that still wants to grow. So, and we want people that will participate as well, because we saw some people that just joined and did not interact, did not use the tools, because there's a website with tools, and did not do anything or use any assets that were provided, and quit and were complaining that it did not help them grow. So yes, we're looking for people looking to grow, but to grow with people, with the help of people, and also be able to grow by themselves and do the steps that they need to do, because at the end of the day, no one will do the work for you.
Awesome. That's pretty rad. I'm not sure if you met this content creator by the name of Lokedown, but do you know who he is?
Lokedown?
Lokedown.
Lokedown.
He's a retired streamer. He retired throughout COVID to stay with family.
Yeah, I know Loke. Yeah, I know Loke for sure.
You know Loke?
Yeah, I remember he quit, I think, last year.
Yes, he quit last year.
I saw a couple of Lokedowns. Streams. I think it was part of IQ for a while as well, or maybe not. But I saw a couple of Lokedown streams. I knew him. I knew him a little. I mean, I've been in a couple of his streams, but I arrived more at the end of the life of his stream. So maybe a month, or I discovered him a month or two before he stopped. but I definitely saw him. He was a pretty amazing streamer. Really friendly, and he had really good ideas um, as for a stream. I mean, to entertain people, it was really, really brilliant. Brilliant. Sorry for the accent.
It's alright. So, what are some hobbies you do when you're not in front of the camera, or when you're with family? What are some hobbies you do?
I love playing with my boys outside a lot. I mean, so far the oldest one is 4.5, and the other one almost 2. So we're playing balls. They have a soccer ball. Uh, I will run against them. Just play with my kids, and they have a house, and we'll make up stories, or I'll push them with or we go to the park, or we do different activities during my spouse's vacation. On the weekends, we went to pick up blueberries. They really liked it, and we went to a park which had gaming spaces, and there was water games for the little kids. You know, the ones with the guns that you can move and shoot someone,
Yeah.
and water shooting down at the ground. Nothing big, but they enjoyed it. And we went to a farm too because they love animals. I grew up my dad grew up on a farm. My mom too, so we love animals a lot. But and I love watching some TV with my spouse during the evening too.
So, are you like a athletic dad, or do you play any sports?
Not at all. And I was fat. I was almost morbid obese for the longest time. I started keto last year, and it helped me lose a lot of weight. But I'm not really the sports guy. I love playing some basketball sometimes, and I played some baseballs, but I was not never really athletic. And I think the thing that is closest to a sport that I do would be the boxing game on Twitch. On Switch, not on Twitch. I have the boxing game on Twitch, and I have Ring Fit Adventure, which is actually pretty challenging if you get the difficulty up. It does a good workout, but I'm not, or I go on walks, but I'm not really a sports guy in itself.
Okay, so you say you don't play sports, but what are some amazing or cannot speak, found memories that you have of yourself or you playing with your children? Or like, what are some maybe like funny moments, cute moments, any moments?
Uh, if I had some fun moments of when I was younger. I was doing some martial arts, karate. I really loved it. Other than that, I have some fun moment as well as pen and paper role play when I was a teenager with my friends, and I have a lot with my sons too. I think the first really fond memory I have of my sons is me, my oldest one, saying, "I love you, Daddy." I was melting. I'm someone that is emotional in life, and I just cried. I was too happy for the first hug they gave you. It's having a kid changes life a lot, and in a good way.
So you mentioned you do keto. Tell us a bit more about that and what you do.
Keto is a diet where it's really high fat and as low carb as possible. So I cut most carbs, sugar. I don't eat bread, potatoes, or even pastas anymore. Um, options that can replace it too. Um, but yeah, mostly sugar. In the morning, I will take 3 eggs with 1 or 2 stripes of bacon. I will mostly skip the lunch because on keto you are less hungry, so I can easily skip lunch and go to supper and to dinner. And on dinner it depends what we do, but it's a lot of meat and a lot of vegetables.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried vegetable paste?
No, no, I
No.
never tried that. It doesn't seem really good. I don't know. I watch it and I kind of not want to try it.
So I'm assuming you cook food. What are your most favorite dishes, or some dishes you thought you never could have cooked, but you actually end up cooking it?
Yeah, we were already cooking a lot when we were not on keto. Actually, we didn't have to adjust our diet a lot. We just had to cut on some fruit and some desserts that we were taking. But something I thought I would never cook: a keto pizza using for the paste 2 eggs and the 2 eggs, chicken flakes, and and Parmesan cheese.
Oh, that sounds
Just
yummy.
grated Parmesan cheese, and it comes together pretty well, and it's pretty good too. So we just put some tomato sauce and other things that we want for toppings. But never thought I'd do something like that. Or keto bread, which doesn't use flour. It uses almond flours, but I thought keto would not be that tasty, but it's possible to make it really tasty because we can still go all the way for spices, which is I mean, it's pretty good. I enjoy the diet because I don't have to cut the taste so much.
Sweet. So, you're a busy person. How do you manage your time wisely? Because you're a father, you're a content creator, and you have other things to do besides streaming. How do you manage your time between those things you do in the middle?
Well, I mean, I did myself a schedule that could fit around my family time. So one thing that is a huge help is that I work from home at my job. I was working from home before COVID, so I have my office that I use for streaming as well because it's soundproof. It needed to be soundproof because I work in a call center, so I'm on the phone. The less exterior sound, the better. So I put I my office. I have a lot of time in my office, but I do 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 mostly. So when I finish, I can just go upstairs and I'm home. Also, one thing that we do is we cook all our meals during the weekend, and we just reheat them during the week, which the boys do not mind or at all. We were already doing that before. It's a great way to save time. We have a little less time during the weekends, but at the same time, we have more time during the evenings after work when they come back from the daycare. Otherwise, I took hours for the stream. I would like to do day streams, but that will not come until I'm full time. So I took time where the boys were. Sorry for that. Uh, I'm I'm digesting something apparently. So we took it. I took a time to start where the boys are in bed, and my spouse is not. I mean, she watches TV and she goes to bed pretty not late, but pretty early. So it's not a problem for her to be alone from time to time because the other days I'm with her and I will go to bed at the same time as her most of the time, and the lack of sleep. I mean, I usually finish my stream around 11:30 midnight. Sometimes I will go over. I'm used to sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night without problem. I was already used to sleep that because I'm a big gamer. So I made time for gaming even with my family. When everyone was in bed, I was gaming until midnight or an hour. So I some days instead of gaming, well, I still game, but I will stream instead of gaming something that I would normally game upstream. So yeah, I there's always a way to make time when you really want to do something. It's sure you may lose some sleep at the start. I mean, if you want to make something work, any business that you will create by yourself, you need to make time. If it's less sleep, or less sleep is not necessarily the best solution, but I'm not a big sleeper. If it's less sleep or do some sacrifices that you have to do, if, if you want to work, if you want it to work, you will do it. I didn't have to do that much sacrifices. It was a little hard on my spouse at the start because with COVID and confinement and all, I mean, she wanted me a little more a little more after the kids were down to bed. But she got used to it, and now she's completely okay with it. I just had to talk to her and see, okay, could I do, what hours, and everything. But we took time to do a good schedule.
Awesome. That sounds very fun. And going to our next question regarding COVID, how did COVID affect you, your personal life? And then part two to that same question, how did COVID affect your Twitch channel? Did you see an increase in viewers, a decrease in viewers? How did that happen?
Yeah, for real life, I feel a little bad for others because it didn't affect me so much. The way it affected me the most is that my spouse was still on parental leave from our new kid coming to life, being born. And we had our other kid because, I mean, she was not working, so daycare was closed. Tensions were starting to rise because everyone at home all the time. Conflict is inevitable at some point. We went through it, but I think that was the hardest part. I was already on work from home, so I was already not going out that much. It did not affect me so much by that. I was already ordering off of the internet. The advantage, I saw more viewers in 2020 than 2019. No, it started in 2020. The end of 2020, I started having more people, more than at the start of 2019, the start of 2020, because I really started being serious about it in April. Since I'm not that big, yes, I saw an increase in viewers, maybe not as much as other bigger streamers, but still COVID was good as a streamer because it was really a good time to grow. But at the same time, it's a side point because a lot of other people started streaming as well. So I wouldn't say it's competition when we're not big like that. There's no real competition, but that was still something because I saw a lot of streamers that I discovered, and my viewership changed. What I mean by that is the viewership has still grown, but the people coming in are not the same because some people are from UK and it was 2 or 3 a.m. and they had nothing else to do. But now work has started back. They're not here anymore, but we have new other people. So, but yes, it was really good for streaming, and in real life, it didn't change that much. It was more my spouse that had to adjust. My partner had to adjust a lot more than me.
Very interesting. So, Doug Mount, what's your favorite game series and why?
That's Kingdom Hearts, hands down. And it's hard to say why. I mean, I'm really big fan of Disney, and I've always been a big fan of Square and not only Final Fantasy, all their franchises. Most of the time, I will like it. There are some games I don't like, but it's more rare. And the first time I tried Kingdom Hearts, I was maybe 18, 19. I thought I will not like the game. It looks boring. It's Disney, and it was Square Enix, so I decided, okay, I'll try it, and I just got hooked. The story can be pretty complicated and seem convoluted at first. The gameplay is really solid as an action RPG with the levels and characters from Final Fantasy. It's kind of a fun service for us because I did all Final Fantasies. The only one I didn't beat was 12, but I'll beat it on stream eventually when we reach that. And it was done by Tetsuya Nomura, which is one of my favorite directors of all time. He worked on Final Fantasy VII and other great games. I think he worked on 10 as well as a director. And the story is darker than you think for a Disney game. It seems all colorful and all friendly, and all of a sudden darkness and people disappear, and that's starting to get interesting. I think it combined two of the things that I love the most, and I think that's what made it work for me. And the story becomes more and more epic, and you get the characters are here from game to game, so you get attached to them, and you want to see them succeed or an enemy being defeated by them. So it's a really emotional connection, and I think I started the game when I was not I I was not that that happy. I was younger and I was still searching myself, and that game brought me some joy and made me go through some of the things with just the quotes. Just some quotes just made me help me through go through a couple of things.
Sweet. That's a cool game, dude. So you might like this next question, Doug Mount. What was your first language, French or English? And are these the only languages you're fluent in?
Yes, that was French. I'm only fluent in English and French. I tried learning Japanese once, but that's something I kind of got discouraged by it. But yeah, that was French. In Quebec, the French is the main language mostly, and I learned English because I was tired. Most of the games were still English. There was no, now you can change the option on the console, but there was no option like that before, and most of our games were in English. I got tired of not understanding anything. I had the basis from school, so I just took a dictionary and searched the words I did not understand, and became fluent in English like that with time. And with the voiceover that came in with Final Fantasy X or any other PS2 games with the PS2 era, I kind of caught up with the accent.
Nice. That sounds very amazing. Would you mind saying some French words for us on the stream?
Oui, pas de problème. Aucun problème avec ça. Je peux parler français autant que vous voulez. I can speak French as much as you want. However, some words I say, certains mots que je dis sont, they are more of a Québécois accent word. C'est plus avec un accent québécois ou des mots when in English you just bring two words together like you all for y'all. We do that in French too. Less, well, in France and in Quebec, it's not the same words that we combine like that.
Nice. Um, so what's the hardest, most significant decision you've ever made in the past?
The artist's most significant I
Decision,
think
yeah.
it was giving up working as a game dev. I studied to be a game developer, and they told me at first, you will have to work overtime, you will have to do crunches, and you will have to work until 8 or 9. Even if you're the designer, you will have to stay with the team to ensure that they will do their job correctly. And the companies are based in Quebec City, which was for me with the bus approximately 15 minutes to reach them from the ferry boat. Plus, take the ferry boat, that's another 15 minutes to go through the St. Lawrence River. Plus, I had 45 minutes of car because we wanted to live in a certain place because my partner is working in an hospital. It's 45 minutes away from the ferry. I was seeing that, and I had to choose between making a life with my partner of multiple years or be a game dev. So I gave up the game dev because I wanted life and kids with her. That's with her. I knew I wanted to be with her already, and that's why I chose. And however, it's a little less hard once I knew one of my colleagues worked for Freema as an artist, and at some point, they took all the senior artists to train the junior ones, then brought them into an office and said, "We're firing you all. We will replace you with the less costly one, and we will not really fire you. We will put you on leave without pay, so that you will be forced to take other jobs, and the norms of the work norms will not notice we're really firing you. You don't have any way of." And he told me that story, and I was like, oh yeah, finally that was a good choice. It was hard at the time, but it was a good choice in the end.
So those
And
a few
yes,
like inspirational things you've saw or worked on. What projects, what games do you work on as game dev?
I never actually worked as game dev. I finished my classes, but after that I had to do the choice right away because the industry at the time I was studying in, were stagnate. It was stagnating in Quebec, so they were not firing anyone, but they were not hiring anyone else either, other than two or three people, and the other ones were getting in QA, so they were getting in game testing, which is not really well paid. However, well, I worked on a project in something called the Bivouac Urbain, which is we had 48 hours to develop a game. It was kind of a competition that was really cool. It was a little space shooter, and one of our prototypes was a racer with a ship. We had some problem with it, but they were really great experiences, even if they did not get published. But I can tell you, some of my teachers were from Ubisoft, some other from Binox, so I knew a couple of good names that worked on big project though.
Would you want to tell us any of them?
Well, there's one that he's called François Tadei. He was director, I think, on Binox. He worked on Shattered Dimension, I think. Spider-Man Shattered Dimension, he worked on that. Other ones worked at Ubisoft on some aspect of the Prince of Persia games, the Switch one mostly. I playtested for the Switch one too for one day.
No.
So, for classes that would be cool.
So, Duckmount,
The ones I can think about right now.
did you ever like plan to be in the industry? Like you said, being in a big company like Ubisoft, Activision. Did you ever have that plan? If you didn't go with your family, would you ever like want to be part of a big project for video game development?
With the knowledge I have today, probably not. I would prefer. I must say I would prefer continue to stream. I would, if I didn't have a family, I would be streaming more and probably growing more. But I don't care. My family is still the most important, and I want to grow it to be full time. But my family still comes first. But no big project because of the crunches, because of the environment it is, and the climate of work. From everything I've heard with years, is not really good for employees. I mean, it's great to have a great game to your name as a developer, but if you burn out in the process, it's not better.
Sweet. And for your Twitch or any social media platform, what are some future projects you're working on that you're very happy to bring out soon? Maybe you're publishing a book or working on upgrading your content.
I'm actually gonna start doing real videos on my YouTube other than announcements saying I'm going to do that or that. I'm preparing playthroughs of games where I explain where to go to be able to help people. I want also to be, helpful videos, how to set up that or that emulator, how to do that on there, because and you cannot stream from an handheld console, so you need emulators or how to set up a randomizer. Everything that I can find that can help people just do something that they want. Maybe a couple of videos of stream setup as well. I'm not the biggest expert, but with the help of some people, I know I can do some of those videos.
Sweet.
Okay, never mind.
So, what are some funny moments that have happened to you while on stream or recording a video, like you said?
What was that? Sorry, I didn't understand that.
What are some funny moments you remember, or that happened to you while you're streaming or on a video recording? What are some funny moments that happened to you?
I was playing last year in October, Alien Isolation, and there's a place with there's a hive somewhere, and see, and I was like, where is it? Where is it? He jumps in my face, and my wrist just came and hit that because I jump scared myself. It hurt, but it made for a pretty funny clip. Or there's another clip that sadly disappeared, and I was playing Doom 2016, and I'm like, oh, I'll try to throw that barrel in the lava. I'm sure I won't fall with it. Oops, I fell. Things like that. Or I like the dad jokes. I have a dad jokes redeemed. That's actually there are other redeems, but I have to think of more.
Would you want to give us a little dad joke?
I can give you one. Wait a second. I have Zelda dad jokes up here. I don't know them by heart, unfortunately. I find some on the web. I'm still practicing for those. My son was playing a Zelda game, and I told him it was more effective to lose health during the summer and winter seasons. Confused, he asked why. I said that way you don't take any fall damage. Yeah. They're bad, but they're funny at the same time. I love the dad jokes. It's from another. It's actually Sir Maze that made me think about that with her dad jokes, and I said, "Yeah, I'd like that too."
So,
And she didn't mind because she's a really great person.
nice. So, Doug Mount, as you know, you're a Twitch streamer. So, what are some things you wish you would have known before you became a full-time, maybe part-time content creator? What would you tell yourself?
Uh, what would I tell myself? Don't go on Mixer. That's one thing. But other than that, I would have told myself, stop stressing about numbers. They will eventually go up. If you stress about numbers, it will show on stream because I know myself. I have trouble hiding my emotions. Like I said earlier, I'm really someone emotional. So when I'm angry, it shows. Or when I'm stressed, it will show. So don't stress about numbers. Try to be smarter about games because I was playing some obscure games at the start. I thought just not play oversaturated games, but there's always techniques to help get more people to click on your stream and maybe keep them in. So, and yeah, for the quality, I couldn't do anything because I didn't have better equipment. Now that changed, but try to play games that people will go see, but that are not too much oversaturated, and stop stressing about numbers. They're just numbers. It will come naturally.
Awesome. That's amazing. So, your next question is, what got you into influencing and inspiring others who are watching your stream? What are something that made you feel happy by doing a stream or your first stream, maybe influencing others?
Um, what I like about being able to influence others is I'm an average guy. I'm not someone exceptional. I'm not someone with a specific skill or that will have the idea will come viral. But I'm an average guy, so I want to show people, and I love showing people that if I can do it, everyone can. And if you put your heart to it, even an average person can succeed. And I think I like to show as well that it doesn't matter how many times you fall or how many times you have a failure. The real failure is when you stop trying. If you continue to go back up, eventually you will have success. And you don't need to be exceptional. You just need to have a passion and give work to it. And I can sometimes, not every time, because mental health is not something easy to manage. But my best friend has anxiety, so inspiring someone or being able to calm someone and say, "Hey, it will get better. I went through a lot and it went better." Everyone can have better moments, and sometimes it touched some people. So I don't have a list of my head right now, but I really enjoy being able to do that because I want just the world to be a better place, and there's enough negativity everywhere else in the world and in the news. I don't want that in my stream. I want to do it for it to be a positive place and just have fun with people and inspire people to do better, to be the better version of myself.
That's sweet. That's very sweet. So, Duck Mount, what is something you thought you never would have accomplished or do, but ended up doing it in the end?
Uh, being able to, in life, being able to be a good dad. I was scared about that, and I didn't have the biggest job. The one who's bringing the most money is actually my partner, and I pay my part, but I was because my dad never put an hand on us, and he loved us and he worked a lot, but he was not really patient, so he liked screaming. He was a screamer. We were all screamers in the family. I was scared that I would not be patient with my kids because before having kids, I was not too much into kids. I'm still not that much into other people's kids. I mean, they're fine. I just won't become friends. I will play with them and all, but I just don't leave them to me. I don't want to babysit your kids. And I thought I would not be that crazy about kids and maybe not be the best father or most present because I'm a big gamer and I mean, I game on my phone too, so I thought I would be too much on my phone or anything else. I was scared of being a dad, and that was completely true. That was completely wrong. I'm always being told I'm a good dad. I'm not the best, but I'm doing pretty well. And I mean, I saw that little boy in the second one too when I saw them, and that was like, I love them. I don't want anything to happen to them. I'm really protective of my family. I'm really protective in general for those I love. And I didn't think when I started being in a relationship with she was my girlfriend back then, that I could be a good family man because, well, I mean, I was doing some studies to in the working industry, but I didn't have really great jobs, not being paid one, and I was really quick to spend my money on things like gaming or other useless things that I would never reuse after that. But I don't know, I guess just having a kid just gave me some maturity right away, and it changed complete, well, not completely. I changed over time, but I think that was my biggest fear, and I was completely. I'm telling myself I was an idiot. Why did I? What was I scared of that? But someone told me if you are scared of being a dad, it means that, and if you are worried about that, that means that you're gonna be a good dad. People
Sweet.
are coming up with quotes for me every day. I don't know where they get that from.
So, Duckmount, do you ever plan for your kid to be a content creator as well, such as you, and or do you have a set path for them that you would like them to see or to go through?
Not really. I don't believe in set path. I believe that they will forge their own path if they become content creators. Great. If they can succeed in that, and if they're happy with that, I'll be proud of them. But I don't have any set path. I don't want them to be a doctor or anything. I just want them to do something that they will love, but also that will let them live because I don't want to keep them in my house until 35. So as long as they are able to live for themselves, I'll be proud of them no matter what they do.
Sweet. And this is sort of a little like reference video, but like, what would you say to your kids if they were listening right now?
One thing that I want to prove to them while streaming, and that I would say to them, if you have a dream, never give up on it. It's impossible is not a word that exists. What I mean by that is, if you have a goal, if you have a dream, nothing's impossible. Never give up. If you fall, get up and continue. You will get it. And you can do anything you set your mind to, even if you're not as special as someone else, or if you're not the next Bill Gates. If you want something and set your mind to it, you can do it.
Amazing, amazing. So we have our final 3 or 4 questions for your speech. Yay. So, what is your biggest failure and how'd you learn from it?
My biggest failure. What I must say, I failed I failed programming school. I was video game programming before being in game design slash level design, and I failed. Uh, well, the biggest thing I learned from it is that I had ADHD because I didn't know before, but otherwise is that it's okay to fail and to not be good necessarily at anything. I could have put the work and become better, and I mean succeed if I really put my mind to it, but I did not like that as much as game design or level design. So it made me discover that it's okay not to be good at everything. You will fail sometimes, and sometimes that's okay, and sometimes you're just your vocation, your path is will bring you something else. Even failures will bring you somewhere in life where you are supposed to be eventually.
Sweet. So this next question is connects to your answer you just did, but how did you overcome your ADHD? Did you ever feel like anxious that you couldn't do it, that you couldn't succeed? Do you have any advice to those who are in the same position you were once were?
Yeah, I was prescribed medication at first, and it just didn't work. It was such strong medication because of my weight that I was basically just like I was completely stoned all the time, but I was conscious, so I was like, and I had really big headaches. I decided to drop that. I lived with it all my life and didn't know what I had. So once I knew what I had, I was able to find ways to manage it. For an ADHD, I'd say routine. I know it sounds boring, but having a routine helps manage the ADHD. You lose less focus, and not everyone with ADHD is the same. Some people, sometimes you will be over focused on something, but sometimes you need to do multitask to be focused on what you are doing. My brain, the way it works is that I'm thinking of multiple things at once. And if I do only one thing, I will think of these other things and I will not be able to focus. I need to have something else to stimulate my eyes or my brain, even if I don't do anything, something scrolling on the screen or anything, because otherwise I will not be able to focus. And also, just being conscious of it helps a lot because I know I have an ADHD, so sometimes I will be less focused and I will just talk to myself and say, okay, you have to focus, you are at work, you have something to do, you do it. Some music can help with concentration. I can't on the phone, but for someone who's working and does not have to talk to anyone, music helps. There are musics and that gives waves that are known to help concentrating. But mostly routine. If I get out of my routine, I get all unbalanced and just lose my focus everywhere.
Nice, that's nice. I can definitely connect strongly with what you just said about ADHD. Um, so your next question is, were there any challenges that you faced or experienced throughout your career, maybe such as computer programming, level design, Twitch streaming, so far that you think that others might face or going to face soon?
There's one in streaming where last year I played, well, during this year actually, start of the year, I was playing a lot of XCOM, and since last November, and I game locked myself, meaning that when most people that were coming to see were Xbox fans, not Xbox, XCOM fans, which were playing XCOM 2, XCOM 1. When I decided to change game because I was a variety streamer, it was always temporary. I lost more than half of my viewership. Sometimes I was stopping at 15 or 20. Right now, I'm starting to go without raids, sometimes to 12 or 13. So it's starting to come back. It took months to come back, and it was discouraging because when I dropped, sometimes I was at 2 or 3. I had to regrow we had to regrow the whole community, save from a couple of people, but most are new from the last couple of weeks or months. So it's hard. If you stay in a game too long, it's not the same thing with a franchise because I'm doing the whole Zelda franchise, but it's not always the same Zelda game. So I cannot game lock myself since it's not the same game all the time. It brings different people. Some people will not like this Zelda or this other Zelda, but they will prefer this one. But staying in the game for too long, that's why the best Jared, if you know him, does Darkest Dungeons a lot, but will go to other games too because if he goes only to Darkest Dungeon, he will grow in Darkest Dungeon. And for example, Asmongold, he it did the contrary for him because he played Final Fantasy 14, so he went up. But if he quits WoW or MMO RPGs, he will lose viewers. It's like that for everyone, even the bigger streamers. If you are streaming solely one game, if the game dies or you change game, you will lose viewership, and at least half. So that was pretty hard. Other than that, I tried working in another department for my job, and I liked, but it didn't work out. So and it was a temporary assignments, but normally they keep people permanently even if they're temporary. They sent me back to the call center, so that was harsh because that was a failure for me. I was not doing the job. Plus, I had to go back to take calls from customers, which is not really. It can be stressful sometimes.
So,
But yeah, but I learned things from there, so I used those to be better at my actual job after that.
so Duckmount, we are at the final 3 questions for your speech. This is a 2-part question, but what are your current thoughts on Twitch and the evolution of where it's heading to? And the second part is, what are your thoughts on the DMCA over on Twitch?
For where Twitch is going to, I think it's not listening to the content creators enough. It's not. I understand why they are focusing on the biggest ones because they bring more money for them, but I think they're not focusing enough on little streamers that are entertaining, that are interesting, and that cannot grow because there's no algorithm, or they just make it so they stay in the shadow. It's really hard to grow on Twitch, and they do something, they undo it, they do. It's like more trial and error, which is not good for a company. But I mean, they have the control. I don't see the other platforms getting them down. It would take a really big platform doing things really well for that. Even Mixer tried, and it was the biggest one out there in a while, and it did not succeed. There's Facebook and YouTube, but I don't see them dethroning Twitch anytime soon. But I think they should listen more to what people have to say. Other than that, will make us more money. But try to listen to your content creators because you're not helping them. And the DMCA doesn't help because the I mean, come on, we're streaming full time, and I understand the DMCA is an obsolete law that should be revised for content creators these days. You can get a DMCA strike for almost anything, and it's really hard just to be banned just because you put a song. You're not even making money off that song, because if you put like 5 minutes of a song, you get DMCA strike. But if you have subs or anything, or something that brings money when you are not playing that, why would that song make you money? And why would it be bad? And why would it be bad at first to have music on stream? Maybe not for bigger singers, but for singers that are trying to get discovered. I mean, imagine Asmongold playing a song on a stream. That would not apply to DMCA. How it would explode, and if people liked it at 120k viewers, that's 120k potential sales for a song. So yeah, DMCA should still be there to protect the creators at some point, but it should be revised for modern times, because I think I don't know when the DMCA was created, but from what I can gather, it was a long time ago, and it was never changed, and it's not in par with the modern times and modern methods of streaming, content creation, or anything else. They just strike everyone without even checking.
Awesome. So your final question is, if you could stream with any actor, content creator, or singer, who would it be and why?
Oh my god, actor, content creator, or singer. I will try to exclude the dead ones because I got ones that I would have liked, but it's been dead for a couple of years. That's a good one.
Here, I'll throw some examples. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Shawn Mendes, PewDiePie. There you go.
Yeah, wait a minute. I know with another content creator actually, Gerard Khalil, the completionist. I've been following that guy for more than 10 years, and I'm a completionist as well. Maybe not as dense as him, but he seems like a great guy. He does a lot. He streams too, and he's pretty friendly. I would really like to meet that guy and maybe do a full stream with him one day. That would be amazing.
That sounds
Or
fun.
there's another one in French too that I would really like. A YouTuber, he's called Joueur du Grenier, or Player of the Attic. He's kind of he started as kind of a angry video game nerd, but with for the French side, and he's evolved into something more. But he's still a really good YouTuber and streamer.
Sweet, that's awesome. So it's time for your speech, Duckmount. Go over the recap of the stream, some advice you would like to give to the viewers, and anything else you want to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really like being invited. It was the first time I was invited to an interview, a podcast like that, and I really liked it. I really liked answering questions, and I like people just being able to know more about myself, and that everyone can do everything they set their mind to. And for stream, a quick advice I'd have is pretty much when you're starting, no matter the quality or all, pick your games. Don't try to play anything. If you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Call of Duty or World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14, you will not grow because you will be buried in an ocean of other streamers that are way bigger or even at your size, but that will stay there because there are too much people. They don't browse. People will not browse down. Sometimes they will go into suggested, but that's more rare, I'd say. But otherwise, yeah, sure, choose your game, have fun. Don't check the numbers. If you have fun, it will help a lot too. And serious, that was a really great podcast. Seriously, it's something new for me, and I don't think I will do a podcast on my stream because I would be a poor interviewer. I wouldn't have any ideas of questions. I have other projects eventually. The YouTube will start pretty soon. I just have to learn to edit. And not only in stream, but in life, if you set your mind to something, never give up. You fall, get back up, because success is not calculated by the failures you have on the way. It's calculated by how many times it will be shown by how many times you go back up to eventually reach your goal. And most important, find a goal for yourself. I started doing better in the last couple of weeks of my stream because I found myself a real tangible goal and a realistic goal. Don't be too unrealistic. Don't say you will be the next Steve Jobs. Start with tinier and get bigger eventually. It can be your end goal, but don't make it your immediate goal. So it's really hard to gauge, and just have fun in life. One thing I like to say in life that the bad moments are there to remind you how important the good moments are. If you're sad, if there's anything, get help or talk to someone, but the bad times never last. Nothing, yeah, nothing lasts in life, but the bad times are there to just remind you how much life is important. So never throw your life away. It's never the solution.
Amazing,
And have
amazing.
fun.
Yes, have fun. Duckman, would you mind telling the viewers where they can find you, your socials, your website?
Yes, for Twitch, you can find me on twitch.tv/duckmountain. And Twitter is actually Duck Mountain 1 because Duck Mountain was not available for some reason. Otherwise, I think it's Duck Mountain TV on Instagram. I couldn't take Duck Mountain for everything. I'm a little about that. I'm a little bummed. I can have all the same thing. What's my TikTok? I never remember. I'm trying to post more things on TikTok, but that's harder. It's just at Duck Mountain as well. And I'm not using Facebook that much, so don't try to find me. I have a page, but it's pretty dead. Facebook. I don't think Facebook is the way to go unless you stream on Facebook anymore. It's getting less popularity, more and more Twitter and TikTok and Instagram are getting in the
I
last couple of years. So I use it from time to time, but really rarely.
so I think you have merchandise. Do you have any merch you want to promote real quick?
Not yet. The goal, well, we were talking about my goals earlier. The immediate goal would be to reach 30 viewers average. When we have that, we decided that once we reach 30 viewers average, we will start doing merch. So that would be then that we'd start doing merch. I forgot to tell what was my YouTube, but it's Duck Mountain as well, so it's pretty simple. If you want to check content that will come out, but no merch yet. Once we reach 30 average viewers, however, we'll start doing merch.
Awesome.
I have a
So,
couple of ideas of merch on
is that your merch you have on your head?
No, that's like I put a cap because my hair are pretty crazy. No, that's a Hang and Shield baseball cap.
Ah,
I want to
nice.
do one with my logo.
Sweet. So anyone
I
in
have
stream
another
want to
cap.
check out Doug Mountain, I'll link him in the description. All his Twitter,
Yeah.
his TikTok, his Instagram, his Twitch. If you guys want to support Doug Mountain, hit the link in the description below. And thank you for joining us,
I have
Doug.
another cap, but it's not. It's not. I don't like it. It's not as good looking on my head. It's a Final Fantasy VII one. But thanks for having me. It was really fun.
It was fun to have you on the show. Well, I'll see you in just a second, but peace out.
Bye. Have a good. Are you still finished with your stream or just the interview? Okay. Okay. Yes. Mhm. Yes. So yeah, it's really fun that we can relate. It's just really hard with ADHD sometimes.